There we go, guys. Welcome to like a pretty atypical show, an atypical Swarm Report live on a Saturday. It's a rare thing indeed. But look, it's virtual season 2, I think is what a lot of us are calling it. Started about a week ago. It ended. Season 1 ended with, let me think, was it Solace? And we're calling the period since then season 2. And season 2 is a season of, man, I think a different caliber, a different kind of quality project that's launching. And our guest that's here today, I think, is a perfect example of that. Guys, okay, first off, I'm probably going to say the name wrong, but is it Sophos? Is it Sophos? How do I say the name of this agent and this product?
Yeah, Sophos. Sophos is the agent that I represent, and Stratos is the swarm, is the meta agent. Sophos means wise in Greek, and Stratos means army in Greek. So, army as in swarm, a swarm of agent at your behest, at your call.
Oh, I like this a lot. Okay, I can already feel that this is going to be a nice, like, deep chat about, guys, and I'm going to be really honest too. It's about a topic like this agent and what his function, his purpose is something that I have been itching to learn. I have always felt I'm not technical enough to be able to learn this kind of trading. I'm talking options trading. It's a little spoiler, but that might not be the case. We did a little chat behind the scenes before we went live, and I don't know, man. Maybe there's hope for me. So if you guys also have always wanted to get into options trading, and I wonder if there's actually other types of trading we'll get in this ecosystem, but this kind of might be your lucky day. So I can't wait to get into this. Guys, by the way, we're live on Abstract, and we're live on X, and I think we're live on Kick as well, and of course YouTube. Smash the like wherever you're watching, guys, but come over to the YouTube side and subscribe over here. We're going to keep getting these incredible guests, these incredible builders who are just at the cutting edge of this AI explosion that's happening. And you don't want to miss these chats. So again, come over to CryptoSlam on YouTube and subscribe over there. Man, let's get into it. I'd love if you could introduce yourself, tell you who you are and what you do and a bit of your background, and then we'll kind of get into this whole product that's coming to virtuals here in just, I think, a day now.
Thank you for this. Yeah, exactly. The genesis is in in exactly 24 hours. And so I've been in derivatives almost for 3 decades. I earned my PhD in finance in your neighborhood, as we discussed earlier in Chicago. I worked at a major investment bank where I ran reasonably big regional sales and trading businesses. I ran structured finance at a Fortune 100 commodity trading firm. I was a hedge fund manager, and I've been in crypto for quite some time. And I was with some friends and partners, we built the leading DeFi option protocol. And a few months ago, we felt that the next frontier for us, or rather, the even most exciting way for us to get around the product market fit issues with options as such in DeFi would be to focus wholeheartedly on the AI agent space. And here we are. So, leading option protocol, I've been in markets for a long time. My partners have been in markets for a long time. And we think this combination of human expertise and experience and the unique power of LLMs and AI could make options and the potential gains and risk management opportunities available by them, they will be made available to anyone now. So that's really the simplest way to describe it.
Which I need so badly. Again, we chatted beforehand, and I already see comments again, people saying very similar things as far as prior experience with options trading and that like desire to get in. By the way, you've got wild experience, and I think I hope I'm remembering correctly, but something like 100+ years between your core team of
Yeah,
like
that's why I like this
TradFi.
expression. Yeah, exactly, because I think it's catchy, right? Because I call it 4 times 25 ends up 100. I think some of us a bit longer, some a bit less,
Yep.
but we can collectively vouch for around 100 years of TradeFi experience.
And that's what we need, and that is also speaking to when I say it's a different season of virtuals, and it's a more matured. It's that right there. It's like builders with a different kind of experience coming in and taking this space so much more seriously. Not that the guys before weren't, right? But I think everybody's understanding how big this agentic thing is growing. And well, I guess to that point, you mentioned at some point a few months back, you realized like it's AI. It's AI, and that's going to be our push, our focus. What was the moment that made you realize that AI is the direction you needed to go?
Well, I followed the virtuals ecosystem because one of our investors was in the advisory board of GamesDAO, which I think was the previous name, right? So he actually told me, watch these guys out. It was early October. He told me, this is about to blow up. This is gonna be major. At the same time, I was following the real world, right? AI agents are on Google search and Google on ngrams, hitting highs in mindshare at various times over the last 6 or 9 months. But from my perspective, when we saw that, we started talking to all the standard LLMs, trying to extract how the major pain point that we always felt created the biggest barrier to entry to options was speak in normal language and try to extract trade strategies out of it. And the LLMs for the first time started looking at us as almost ready to be useful. And we actually launched a feature called Tithaka GPT at the time, where you could come in and you could say, I think the market is gonna go up first, but slowly. Maybe it's gonna go down later, but a bit faster. And is this and that gonna happen around these catalysts? And if you would really prompt it the smart way, the LLM would give you a linear combination, a bunch of trades that you could execute. And after some work we did with a click of a button. So that's the first thing. We realized that the UX difficulty of options could be overcome. So that's number one, where we felt the LLMs are getting closer. They need a lot of help, but they were getting closer. And the second thing is when we realized that we've been doing systematic trading for more than 20 years each, right? And always the issue with systematic trading means rule-based trading, right? Or let's call it algorithmic trading. Issue is that unless there is some human supervision at some level, things inevitably blow up. And then you learn some lessons and you try to make the algorithm better next time. Well, the thing is now with AI overlay instead of human overlay, for the first time, you can actually abstract away from the involvement of a human. And I'm not saying we have achieved it yet, and it will be a long, hard slog to do so. But I think everything is pointing towards the fact that all of a sudden we're going to solve for the holy grail of systematic strategies. A system, which is what the name says, but on top of it, an AI agent supervising with human intuition, human-like intuition, or probably ideally better than human intuition. So, short answer, last 9 months, all of a sudden, what we've been waiting for 25 years happened in front of us, and we need to be in the forefront of it.
I love it because we all felt that thing at the same time, and like all for different reasons, right? It probably the agentic explosion for a lot of us that were more like trench warriors and just kind of keeping up with metas and narratives here, like just again in the trenches in crypto. It was like truth terminal, and it birthed this goat token, and all of a sudden this explosion, just agents everywhere. People who have been building though, and this is like you sensed it actually probably a bit earlier, right? Because AI behind the scenes has been booming, just booming, and everybody knows we're heading to this AI future. But it is roughly around the same time everybody just realized, oh, we have to go this direction because it's going to make what we do, to say obsolete, it's the wrong word, but like infinitely better. I think you were even saying like abstracting away, kind of some of the complexity. Everybody's realizing that and how it's going to tie into their specialty. And it's here and it's wild. I had to pull this up, Google search trends, AI agents. And you just see how this is a 5-year view. You just see how it's exploded here just since last October, and it really, really escalates like November, December, and that's it. And that's the moment. Now everybody's here finding ways to tie AI agents into their system, not to keep up with the meta, but because again, it makes sense. It does make your products better,
But
which
that's
is
exactly the issue, because I can tell you something else. Like AI hedge funds were a category on hedge fund return handbooks already from 2015.
hmm,
So 2015 to 17, there was an AI hedge fund category. But AI back then meant something else. It meant, uh, like we did a lot of statistics and econometrics back at our studies, and that's what we use, right? They gave new fancy names to the same techniques that everyone knew, and you call the random forest or something AI, and that was supposed to be AI. So that's not what we mean by AI now. AI is there is a human-like element that allows you to exercise extra judgment to allow to take the best out of a human and apply them to the algorithm. And that's really where the beauty lies. And the fact to, as you said, to do things better than was the case before.
And is that difference now? Is that the agent specifically? That's what they're doing. That making it easier and helping translate things. The difference of AI now as opposed to a few years back, right?
Exactly. Now it's that uh, AI can be a UI, a UX abstraction tool and a proper one. It's a universal translator. So you speak human and options and Greeks come on the other side. And it wasn't the case before. You couldn't do it. So you could do AI at the back end in terms of analyzing data and performing regime classification methodology, right? But in terms of you and me as normal people going about our day and trying to express a view that is only expressible via options and getting an outcome out of it that is actionable is only barely now recently the case that one can do. And we will be committing to be working hard towards that, right? Because as we were talking earlier, it's not there yet. Because as we said, option trading expertise is not available to an LLM to get trained on crawling GitHub. Option trading expertise is in the minds of the traders that have been in the markets for years. They haven't really written it on the internet. There are no memoirs. So one needs to do it the hard way. And this is where we commit to do the hard work to bring everyone up to speed.
Okay, so then, with that in mind, of bringing people up to speed, why don't we? And if you could, for people who don't trade options, don't think they ever could trade options, don't really understand what it is. And I want to get into the platform here, but what is options trading? If you could break that down simply for people.
Yeah. So first of all, option trading allows you to express views with limited downside and unlimited upside. Now, you could say you could do that with perps too, but perps have liquidation risk and they don't have what's called convexity, like second order effects. So uh, if you effectively can buy insurance and you can sell insurance. So you can express views about not only up and down, but also how fast or how slow, about when, about speed, about path dependence for all those components. So look at what we said. So these are instruments that allow you, instead of just saying up and down, you can have a rich canvas of ways that you can express a view that is not available otherwise. So let me give you an example. I think if will first go up, but it's gonna do it very quickly, then it's gonna go down and it's gonna do it very slowly. And along the way, it's gonna hit 3,000, but it's not gonna go below 2,300. And the first part is gonna happen within a month. The second part is gonna take 3 months. And you see how many conditionals I entered. So what I mean by that is that whereas with the current tools that are in the arsenal of the standard crypto user, you can really just say up, down. With options, you can say, you can write speeches, okay? You know what I mean? You can write stories. You can do whatever you want.
Which is wild. I had no idea it was that in depth. Like, I didn't know. I didn't know. Actually,
No,
so
that's why I
even
think of you as yeah, you're an artist. Like that's why I go back. You
I like that.
imagine yourself as an author. You write a story of markets, and then option translates it for you. You cannot do it like if you use perps, it's like using like a scalpel. If you use options, it's like using a paintbrush, a scalpel as well, uh, every different instrument in front of you, and you can build masterpieces.
Wow, I like how you're putting this. By the way, it's in a way I've not heard before. and it makes me want to dive in even more. But maybe then, okay, because it is complicated. It's clearly complicated. Although, again, before when we were chatting, you were saying it's probably not as complicated as you think. It's just you got to put a little time in and learn it. But
But that's why you don't need to do it anymore. I guess that's the point here, right? So we said two things, that the cousins, in quotes, of our friends here in crypto are very active trading options on GameStop, on Robinhood, right? So people trade options. They are the same people. Now, what usually happens is that the moment you need to start crafting your story and expressing it, on the one hand, you need to genuinely know what you're doing, and it's hard. And on top of it, in most option platforms, a lot of the tools I just described are just not available. You need to work with a OTC dealer, with a special market maker. You need to be a big investment bank and ask the structured products desk. You know what I mean? So the standard puts and calls you see on, on your screen, they don't give you this richness that I described. They're good, but they're not enough. So this is where AI agents come in. So we make the effort to craft stories that you can understand in human language. And everything else that's hard happens behind the scenes. Now, if you want to know about it, the agent will be tweeting like the agents you're accustomed to. All the positions are on chain. You can take the positions and you can ask Arithaka GPT and our upcoming Strato GPT and tell them, dude, can you tell me what happened here? So it will be up to you to dig deeper if you wish. But everything has been abstracted away to the point of just clicking and depositing and just staying back and waiting.
interesting.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It does. So let's dive into that like the agent portion. Well, it's more than one agent. That's what I've realized here, right? It's not just this Stratos agent. It is an army. It is a swarm of agents. And so I'd love to hear what they do and why you need multiple agents here. Just
Yeah,
what that ecosystem is going to look like now. And by the way,
yeah,
are
let me
these
describe the
live?
vision. Yeah. Yeah, they are live. Yeah, they are
Wow.
live and they're making money. Yes, absolutely. You
Wow.
can go and deposit one click. So think of it this way. Um, the vision is for anyone to be able to visit the platform and craft his story, which we will present multiple ways in gamified fashion to coax out of you. And this story will allow you to map your risk profile or your risk graph into bespoke agents. Okay. And these agents will be a combination of building blocks. So there will be an agent perhaps that performs strategies that hedge against black swans. There can be an agent that makes consistent income, nothing glamorous, but consistent income. There may be an agent that is a little bit more aggressive and takes more risk, but at the same time can suffer bigger drawdowns. So what we're envisaging, and actually, because we don't want to overwhelm the audience, that's the thing, we've done like a lot of work, but there needs to be like a step-by-step familiarization process, right? Even right now, you can go and create a bespoke team of agents that fit your profile and can do a lot of things together as a portfolio. Down the line, these agents will be talking and learning from each other. And these are, by the way, not agentic. These are simple, and I know it's an oxymoron, but simpler AI. It's AI that this reinforcement mechanism have existed for some time. Nevertheless, think of it as everyone could come and present his story. Bespoke agents will be recommended, and they will be working together, learning from each other, delivering strategies in return that are consistent with what you wish. And everyone who participates in the Stratos token, he'll be getting the benefit of everyone needing to have a gateway to access this infrastructure. That's why Stratos is both utility token, as we used to call them, right? Governance, but also a real yield associated token,
Okay.
So lots to unpack here, but I want to give you like that. Lots have been happening already, and all what you're describing can actually more or less happen now. But the more support we have, the more things we can deliver.
Yeah, no, I love it. This is as in depth as I was thinking it was going to be. So I'm going to dive in. I've got more questions. So there's already some agents that live on the Ithaca platform.
Yeah.
These are agents that people already can access right now. I think that's the
Yeah,
case,
of
right?
course. Yeah, you can go and deposit. Yeah, exactly. You can go and
Okay.
deposit now. One click.
And so on top of like making a trade for you, can they keep up with your trade? Can they adjust your position, right? If you're at risk of being liquidated, if that's a thing that can happen with options trading, which I think it
Well,
is, right?
options don't get liquidated, right? So unless these agents yet, uh, we are gonna start tweaking them, or rather, users will be able to tweak them to make them more aggressive. If they get more aggressive, part of this will be that they will be able to take more leverage. So you see, there are quite a few chains where they may take liquidation, but you're not there yet. You don't need to be concerned about liquidation as of now. So what is going to happen is you just deposit, agents trade, and you count on the fact that they've been programmed and they have enough intuition to manage risk appropriately. Okay. Now, at any point, obviously, you can withdraw in 1 second if you think that there is, and because you are seeing their trades, right? The moment that there is something you don't like, or the moment you actually see that their portfolio feels like something that will not deal with the market you expect well, you can withdraw. You know, so there are enough safeguards to allow you to feel that you are still in control in enough ways.
Okay, I like that. Now, okay, on top of them trading for you, um, will it teach you? If you ask it questions, does it have like a natural language interface? Can I type
Yeah,
to it,
yeah,
ask
exactly.
questions,
So
get
right
feedback?
now, yeah.
Love that.
So think of it this way. Right now we have Ithaca GPT that you can talk and he'll give you a strategy that fits your views. Now this will become so for Stratos GPT. So instead of talking to you and giving you a strategy that you'll need to click, but you'll need to pick prices and click execute, which obviously you would say is not that hard, but you know what? Every extra click makes a difference. Instead of presenting you a strategy, the LLM will present you the right agent on the right combination of agents. So you don't even need to think what the strategies are. You will know that, you know what, this is what they'll do. They'll do something consistent with what I described here. So, summary, a lot of that exists already, and it will be better and better.
It makes sense. I imagine there's people trading on your platform already who are pretty darn advanced without using an agent. Do they
Yeah.
benefit from using an agent though? Like who benefits more, an advanced user or somebody new like myself and maybe like Cats?
No, it will be you, right? So the advanced, an advanced person, I can tell you, um, the advanced person can do things like an advanced person themselves. The way I see it is that it will be the first time they can see that what they would be doing themselves if they had access to an OTC desk and a trader and, and a balance sheet and everything. It's something they could do without really bothering. So actually, surprisingly, you could say even advanced traders will find it useful because it takes away a lot of their pain. Like there are some trades. I'll give you an example. One of our agents is called Range Alchemist. Okay, that guy executes trades that are called in traditional markets accumulators. Okay, these accumulators, if you would need to trade in the real world, you would need to have an ISDA with a market making desk or a bank. And that trade consists of literally 20 legs executed together at the same time. So yeah, if you're an advanced guy, you can do it yourself. But the pain of not needing to do it and actually having an agent doing it for you
Pretty
because you
nice.
understand it fully, it's pretty cool,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, pretty nice.
So
Okay, well, okay. Random question, but I think you're like a perfect person to answer this for us. Like, okay, we're all wondering if AI tools, AI agents, whatever, will outtrade humans, in the future, let's say even a few years off. Do you think a human will always be able to outtrade AI tools, AI products? Or do you think there's this future where AI does outtrade humans and humans can't keep up?
I think this future will take place. But I would venture the guess, obviously it's a bit self-serving, that I think that this will be one of the last domains that AI will take over. Okay. So so we have few years in front of us. as option traders
Why do you
to
think that
educate
one's
and
going
get
to?
them.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I wonder why that one maybe is a little further off.
Because I think the knowledge, like LLMs advance because they have a way for the areas where they've done best is the areas where there is a lot of existing corpus of knowledge that they can train themselves on, number one. And number two, an area of knowledge where they can actually test themselves extensively. So what does that mean? On the one hand, they're very good writers. They can write perfect essays, right? Because obviously the written word is immense, right? Like I don't know how many billions books and stuff, right? And articles and whatever. On the other hand, they are getting very good and they're becoming perfect in terms of code. Why is that? Because they can have access to GitHub. And number two is because they can write code, they can test it immediately and learn from their mistakes, right? Think about options now. On options and trading in general, on the one hand, the knowledge doesn't exist. Traders, 99.999% of them, they don't write down their intuitions and publish them on the internet. You can't read them anywhere. And number two, the market, you cannot run scenarios on the market. The market always throws something new at you that cannot necessarily be imagined by an AI. Of course, it can be imagined, but every day is different in the market, and you are advancing across a multiverse, as I keep saying, like an event cone that is very broad. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it cannot happen. It will happen. It will be the last domain because of those two reasons.
It makes so much sense. Again, I had a feeling you were the perfect person to ask that kind of question to because it's just that this is where that experience comes out, the technical, but also like the trading experience. So that was really
Appreciate
cool to hear. Okay, quick question. Then I want to get into some of the maybe like tokenomics and how they tie into the ecosystem. But question is, and this maybe is part of tokenomics, we got these agents that are already on the platform, but it looks like users of the platform also maybe can launch their own agents. Is that the case?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can
Okay.
launch your own agent at any point. You can build a bespoke agent, and the way it will play out, the way it will work out incentive-wise is that everyone, in order to launch first of all, the economics of the bespoke agents will be split with the Stratos ecosystem. So if you're a Stratos holder, you'll be getting a benefit anytime someone creates their own agent. And number two, the entry ticket for the bespoke agent framework will be based on the ability to stake Stratos tokens. So these are the ways that the alignment will take place.
So this gets right into then the token. And actually, okay, and then I have another random quick question. You're launching on ETH. You're only the
Yeah, we're
second.
the second one. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
so
We're the second
cool.
one on ETH. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
What,
it's
what,
really no,
what,
I mean it was planned obviously, but yes, we're
okay.
very excited about
So
it.
you knew this stuff was coming to Ethereum. You knew you must have known Iris was coming to some degree. But why
Yeah, I
do you
did,
choose
yeah.
Ethereum over Base? Just curious.
We are one of those Ethereum OGs, I've been around for a while and I really want to give back to Ethereum. I just feel it's all of us are coming home, you know what I mean?
I love that,
So
dude. Yes.
so that's sort of the the way. I mean, we love and respect Base by definition, but I think the aura of being one of the wave of projects that inevitably will come back back to layer one. I
Yep.
think it's too good to resist.
Dude, there's so
I
many
don't
of
know.
us.
What do you think?
Oh, I'm
Isn't it?
exactly with you. A lot of us have just been like, we're waiting and we believe that Ethereum's going to come back and its glory days are still ahead of it, right? And so we've been
Exactly.
watching, waiting, but now it's like when you see and hear others who have the same belief, and now it's like money where your mouth is. You're now building this on Ethereum. That's the thing that gives like so many of us conviction that is really how it's going to play out. So I'm with you. ETH season is loading. It feels like, and I'm just excited to see it getting some energy again. So I love seeing this on Ethereum. And again, this goes back to the quality caliber of stuff. It's now Iris, and it's you guys right here. And I wonder too. This is just a random thing, but like virtuals. Maybe like 2 weeks ago, founder Ether Mage said, "Look, we get a little like there's a lot of comments out there that we're too degen." He's like, "We're gonna prove you wrong. Give us a couple weeks here." And then all of a sudden we get Iris, and then again you
Exactly.
guys on Ethereum. I'm like, okay, I think I see their plan, their move. Maybe Ethereum is where like a different kind of quality. Or I hate saying that because I don't want to diminish anybody else, but it's just like it is a different kind of thing on Ethereum so far. So I like to see it.
Thank you. It's very kind of you, and we hope we deliver appropriately.
Yeah, dude. Well, All of us do too, and I think you're gonna. I think this is gonna be pretty fun. Okay, let's get into tokens. I'm gonna ask you a question. Like, we'll just address what I think is one of the bigger conversations out there about the token, and it's a little fuddy, and I think it's silly, but I'm gonna let you address it too. The only FUD I've seen about this agent, this token drop, is that there's a prior token for the Ithaca, currently, the current Ithaca platform, and holders of those tokens, well, 30% of tokens are going to go to them. I'd love to hear you just explain why they're getting token and if they have a different use case for it, and just whatever you want to say about that. And I'm going to share some thoughts too, because I think it's fun.
Yeah, of course. No, look, the way we see it, these are tokens that would have gone to the team. So instead, we're actually saying we want to align and get all the benefit of a strong investor group that had been aggregated on Ithaca to bring it onto virtuals and the launch we do now. So effectively, we sacrificed, in quotes, the team to make sure that we bring the benefit of the existing support to the project we're doing now. In addition, no one is getting this airdropped. They need to stake Ithaca to get it, and they get it on a one-to-one basis. So the analogy I use, and we're gonna send a thread on it, is the equivalent of a spin-off. In the real world, I don't know, do you go to Chipotle?
Say again?
Chipotle. Do you eat Chipotle?
It's been years, but it's
It's been
delicious.
years. But okay, Chipotle used to be owned by McDonald's. Okay.
I didn't
And
know
one
that.
time, yeah, okay. So McDonald's decided, you know what? Chipotle needs to have its own business. It needs to get out on its own. So what did they do? They spun it off, and a percentage of Chipotle went to McDonald's shareholder. I'll give you another example. You use PayPal. I guess you're a crypto guy. You don't really
Yep.
use PayPal,
Oh
but okay,
no,
you
I
know
mean,
what it
I'm
is.
still
Yeah.
a boomer. I use it.
Yeah, okay. So PayPal used to be owned by eBay. At some point, eBay said, you know what, PayPal, you grew up, you're better than us, go out on your own. So what happened is PayPal listed on its own, and some percentage stayed with eBay shareholders. So that's called a spin-off. That's called a creation of value so that you create all the AI agent system needs to go separate, needs to go its own way so it can grow up much faster, unburdened by legacy issues that relate to the option infrastructure. So I think it's very standard practice in TradeFi, and we need to be more open to it in crypto instead of thinking that to align to create the culture of a spin-off. So for better or worse, and I can explain why I think the value of Ithaca has not been recognized. You need to create, there is a lot of value in the AI agent system that is being clouded and needs to be taken separate away and let loose so that it's free to show its promise in the context of an AI agent ecosystem, rather than having to deal with everything else that the Ithaca ecosystem is working through, which is broader, right? Which are different things. So, and then we say, you know what? Instead of going to the team, it will go to whomever stakes Ithaca. And by the way, that means that unlocking window will be much longer, and I'll tell you why. Because as you can see, we have 30%, right, which would have gone to the team. That 30%, right now, the free float of Ithaca, and we'll have some news very soon as well, is barely 10%. So what does that mean? So even by definition, if everyone stakes over the 10% free float, which cannot happen because obviously there needs to be some liquidity for exchanges, if you know what I mean, right? So the effective vesting for the Ithaca portion is actually much longer than 6 months now, because there are not enough tokens to be staked. So I think it's actually, we thought it would be a very strong positive. And I think it will be if people actually look into it. I have to say, where the FUD started is related to the fact that we didn't really want to work with that particular promoting business, you know? But anyway, I won't get into it. But I think it was a little bit self-serving as well, you know. But again, these things happen. It's okay. I mean, I respect his views, and let's see what happens.
Well, dude, you explained it beautifully. You really did. It makes perfect sense. I noticed that too when I looked at tokenomics. I noticed the no team supply. It made sense, but also everybody was just like hyped to the moon about Iris, which has 50% of the tokens that are going elsewhere too. That was not flooded in any way. So we're
Yeah,
not being
exactly.
really
It's going elsewhere. Exactly. It's
yeah.
going elsewhere. In our case, it's going elsewhere longer as well.
It's
So
going
it's
to your loyal platform users. Who would you rather it go to than people who are using the platform and as you mentioned, staking. So I think that is
it's the people
it's
who will
excellent.
stake. Yeah, exactly. People who will stake. And they stake the take 1 to 1, and that's it.
Yep. Tokens are going to be locked for 30 days, which I know for you virgins out there, it's a term of endearment. I think you know over here on the Virtuals platform. For 30 days, people can lock up their tokens, earn points. Are you firm on those 30 days? I believe they give projects like a one-time tweak where you can lock them up for longer, and it gives people more time to earn points. Are you guys firm on that 30? Something you're considering extending?
You need to tell me more about it. So yeah, look, you'll tell me offline. I want to do the best for everyone, but at
Yeah,
this
yeah.
point, yeah. So you let me know. I
We'll
mean,
chat.
again, yeah, exactly. I would love to know more about it.
I'm unusual with this kind of thing. And I've been saying this more lately. I kind of like it shorter. I think it gives us flexibility. If people want to sell some tokens, it's not me, but if people want to sell some, you don't have to wait. If tokens are locked for 6 months, well, you can't sell them for 6 months. I kind of prefer the shorter, but yeah, we'll talk. There's all kinds of
Yeah, yeah, of
ideas
course.
out there, and they're all fine and fair. So if we could get a little more into token, okay. Someone on the Virtuals platform wants to get into this pre-sale, which is definitely going to be me. I'm telling you, this is probably, I mean, there's been a lot of great ones over the past just couple days and more coming up. I think this is the one I'm most excited about, and I think it's from everything people are hearing from you right now. It's the maturity, the experience, like the real product has been around. All those reasons I'm in. Me as a token holder here coming up, what am I going to do with that token day one? What are my options? How am I going to use it?
Day one, you'll start being accounted for in terms of earning revenue for the performance that exists. So that's not gonna be to anyone. So you're gonna be seeing dollars starting accumulating for you in terms of performance fee that is that will come to you at some point. And when I say at some point, it will be part of your NAV that will be reflecting true value, not just hype to the ecosystem. Obviously, we will have tons of promise like everyone else, but here you will be seeing there are real dollars associated with what you do.
So as agents are transacting, are there fees that are going back to stakers?
No, we have turned off fees so as to make sure that there is no. Actually, that's important as well. Going back to this is a reverse FUD. we have turned off fees. So Ithaca is not earning any fees from
Wow.
anyone trading on it. So you see that's important. No one gives. I mean, we should give a bit of credit to that, right? If you allow me. So, so the thing is, if the agents make money, according to a standard hedge fund model, 20% of this performance fee, like 10% of these profits will come to the Stratos takers. It's as simple as that.
Wow.
So that's it. And obviously, so which means if you put your money in, you effectively get your money back. You know what I mean? So there's only the leakage is just the way we have it is 50% goes to Stratos, 50% goes to the Ithaca infrastructure. So which
Man.
supports it in a way. So you immediately so this 10% immediately starts accruing.
Pretty nice. Yeah. Who doesn't love that? By the way, I have a question for somebody in the chat further on. Okay. No more points for green locks, just a lock for the best project. Okay. I got to make sense of that again, because I know there's been so many changes, but I'll dig into that. And then,
Yeah, these things
I'll
are
go through
changing.
that.
Even 2 days ago, I think they announced some changes and to be
Brother,
honest, I should
like,
have been more focused on. I mean, it's a new platform, right? They constantly iterate, right? They're learning what helps, what doesn't.
yeah. Yeah. I tell everybody, I'm like, okay, I give them all the grace to do that stuff because they always have made the right choices. Or even if they've made, maybe not the best choice, they've always been reactive and they've fixed anything that hasn't been perfect. And the Virtuals team has been excellent. So I'll keep giving them the benefit of the doubt. But that said, in the past couple of days, there were some big changes, and some of those changes are coming after you've like locked up tokens for a year, maybe even more. So I get why that's a little tricky for some people. Again, I'm gonna keep giving these guys benefit of the doubt, just because for me they've earned it. But dude, again, people are getting really excited about this one in particular. They are. So further on's all in on this one. Again, I think if I'm not all in, it's going to be a substantial amount. I like to bet on builders, right? I come from a team of builders too, and we've been at this for years. Those are the people I'm wanting to support. And more, I'm seeing virtual try to really push people in that direction too, which I love. But I'm here to support builders. This is exactly that. How do you picture your platform? Well, actually, I would like an idea of the Ithaca platform. What kind of volume do you see on there currently? And like,
And
how
you
many
can,
users on the platform?
we have mostly power users, because we are the best in the ability to trade multi-leg strategies. Okay, so but the story is, and that goes back to the Ithaca part and why Stratos needs to be unshackled. For better or worse, traditional options on crypto have never picked up, and for all the good reasons you described. So, but exactly because we saw that now there is a great opportunity to break that malaise, let's call it, the fact that, uh, and that was part, I'll give you an example, like there was a platform called Lyra, right? Then called Derive, they changed their name, they've been around the previous cycle in options. And then they sold themselves to synthetics out of nowhere for 27 million, and they have 6 million in treasury as well, which was a price out of nowhere, which was too low in every way. And then it's the fact that options on chain haven't picked up, despite like everyone's effort, despite everyone to create a better experience. But now we have a chance. And now we have a chance that, by the way, it's abstracted away from options. We are there to help users make money. Right now we use options, but you know what? Nothing stops us to use other strategies. One of our common friends, the one who brought us together, he actually said something very interesting. I imagine Stratos as an app store for trading strategies. Think about it, right? And I loved it.
Interesting.
So you show up, you type and you choose um, what building block you want to use, having performed a gamified risk analysis on yourself. And then you just click and drag strategies. And that doesn't, like, whether it's options, whether it's users, parties, whatever, that doesn't mean anything anymore. It's abstracted away. And that's what I love here. That's
That's a
the ambition.
wild
That's what we
idea.
want to end up with.
That's a wild idea. Okay, so I think I know where that idea comes from. It's a big brain idea. Wow. Okay, and is that something you're considering, making part of this, at some point going forward?
Look, we know each other because we worked together in Grade 5 many years ago. And then we worked together on Ithaca as well for some time. So we're always friends and we always exchange views. So he's a part of the team. One way. He's part of my
Oh,
brain trust, so that's
okay.
always been the case. No, no, yeah,
Okay.
this common friend of ours is someone I know for 16 years.
That's
So
cool.
it's not
Yeah,
like,
okay.
yeah.
I met him through an NFT project, and he's a really, really cool
Yes,
dude.
a
He's got
big
a
shot
great
NFT guy. Yeah,
reputation.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
which is
He's
cool.
also,
By,
yeah.
by the way, do you do NFTs at all? Do you ever get into that side of things?
You know what? Ithaca Protocol, again, via our common friend, is part of Ape Chain, right? We launched actually, if you see 2 days ago, we are on
Okay.
Ape Chain Hub for a very cool feature that, by the way, we're hoping to bring through ACP. Remember, right? There is ACP,
Oh,
and
you
we
just
want to
said the
find
magic
other
words.
ways. Yeah, exactly. Look, that's why there are lots of things. Like, actually, so there you go. That's the NFT connection. We are one of the features projects on Ape Chain, is Ithaca, okay? And the project we just launched on ApeChain is something called no gain, no pain, 1 minute options.
Wow.
So think of it, right? So 1 minute, you bet, and it's an option structure, and you just click, right? You just go up and down. If you beat the spread, you make 4 times. If you don't beat the spread, we give you 2%, and you lose if you get it the wrong way. Okay, 1 minute, tack, tack, click, click. Okay, now imagine that as an instrument that we can give to every agent to launch it on their own token. So you can create speculative markets and aggressive trading for every agent token, where everyone can bet on where the trade will be, where the price will be in 1 minute. So simple things, and that's already, yeah. So now I
I love
started
it. I think
speaking.
I
I
think we're looking at
connected
that,
NFTs and nature and everything together, but you see,
connected to
we
all of
have
it.
things quickly. Yeah,
I love it.
exactly.
I think we're looking at it right here too. That no pain or no gain, no
Yeah,
pain. Probably
if
location
you're NFT.
restricted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
if you're, yeah, yes, you
Dude,
get it. But
super.
you see behind like the line, this is Bitcoin, I guess, right? Moving.
Yep.
So you can see, and then you'll be able, you see right hand side, you click up or down, and you can make 4 times if it beats your spread and so on. So if you
And
put
this
a
is
VPN.
and this is like live trading. This isn't simulated trading, right?
No, this is real, man.
Wow.
This is real.
I
This is
love it.
real time.
I love
And
it,
we
dude.
actually just integrated Chainlink as well. So this is fully trustless. So
Okay.
actually, you will be able to be both a maker and a taker. So you will be a staking pool that, on the one hand, you can just take prices, right? You just bet, or you can be the other side that makes the market, and and there are no fees. So everyone can participate with a percentage of the aggregate winnings.
Really, really cool. Oh, I love it. I love you're my kind of DJ. Again, professional, but getting the hands
Exactly.
dirty and in the trenches here too. I love that, dude. Um,
Exactly.
I gotta ask. Okay, you mentioned ACP, so I'm assuming again, virtuals ACP, these clusters, this new like agentic economy. What maybe goals or what's your vision for where you guys might fit in there?
Um, we have we want to create engagement tools for agents to be present with their communities. So we want to be able to present platforms to them that they can use with simple, you know, dedicated pathways that can be used with basic calls, right, in the ACP framework. Where let's use the example of the 1 minute options. As I said, we will make it available to any agent to launch a market on himself, on his own community, uh, as a way to increase engagement on a tool that we make available to them. Another tool we have, and it's a similar way to think of it, we built something called the token racer, which think of it as horse racing for tokens. Okay. So you can imagine agents coming together and trying to create community events where they say, let's see who performs better the next 24 hours. And every community tries to outperform the other one in terms of pumping the token. You know what I mean? Pumping the token. So we want to create opportunities. And obviously down the line, if any agent reaches great liquidity, we can provide the functionality to launch option strategies using that agent token as underlying. So our vision is that all this app store of strategies or app store of application of by definition shouldn't be made available just for ETH, BTC, or SUI, or whatever else we do, right? It should be for any agent token. All these benefits about being able to use options. What I said before, the how speed, how quickly, when, path dependence, and all that, right? You can do it for any token. It doesn't need to be just for the majors. That's what we built, right? So anyway, long-winded
Man,
answer, but yeah, that's
great answer. Again, every time you kind of get in depth with any of these points, any of these questions, it just shows us like how much you've thought about this and how deep you're willing to go. And this is what people want. We okay, again, back to virtual season 1 versus season 2. I think we saw a lot of stuff that guys like, let's just being honest, there was some stuff in season 1 that we won't see again in a couple months, right? It's different with these guys who've already been here for years that now have these big bold plans, and again, just speaking personally, these are the things I'm extra excited about. These are the things that we're putting some money towards stuff. I'm doing it towards these kind of projects. So I love hearing the depth of like your plans and what's got you excited here. Another just 1 or 2 questions, man, and then and I want you to feel free if there's anything very big important that I've missed. I want you to make sure you got some time to bring that up. But what other chains are you looking to maybe, I don't know, integrate? Like you're doing something now on 8 chain, awesome. This is on mainnet ETH, and I think I read in the description like expanding to other like L2s. What does that
Now,
look
let me
like? What other
explain.
chains?
Yeah. So everything we do has been on Arbitrum, right? So we've been a grantee of Arbitrum for some time. So number two is Solana. Solana was difficult because obviously it was a different language, right? So it's different setup. So, but we never really got the right. I mean, the Solana ecosystem has been quite nice, but again, we are ETH you know what I mean? So it always felt a bit awkward to try to push the Solana, so we have done Solana, we are on Solana, but we are not pushing it yet. There's so many things we can do at the same time, right? Then we are about to announce an investment by a very major L1, okay, that they're gonna invest in us on the Ithaca side, which means we are gonna launch everything on their chain. So, so this is really the obvious ones I can share. Now, Base is the other obvious one, exactly because Base there is more liquid Bitcoin, so it allows us to have Bitcoin market. I have to say, what I always felt more exciting as a contribution for our platform is that it allows for less liquid tokens to have more liquid than expected option markets. So my excitement is to do more in less liquid stuff rather than just going backwards to Bitcoin that everyone does. So, and these are some of the ones we'll do. I hope it makes.
Interesting.
I cannot really announce the major one, but okay, go to the top 15, not a ghost chain, and you can see which one it is. It's not hard. It's top
Well,
12 actually, I think.
now I got to go peek. So let's see.
It's okay.
I want you guys to throw out your predictions here, but let's look. Okay, top 15. I'm just
But
going to throw out what I think
and
it
not a
is,
ghost and not a ghost chain. I
and
said,
not a
yeah, it's
ghost
okay.
chain. Well, hang on.
No, I shouldn't say that. We respect everyone. That's unfair. So I shouldn't have said that. We are not like Twitter, but
No.
no, everyone has
Uh,
done hard work. So.
well, I either want to go hyper liquid, and if I would have said Avalanche, but they're not top 50. I'm going to go hyper liquid. That's going to be my pick. So we'll see
No,
here.
it's not hard. It's not hard to
Okay,
look.
well, it's not
So,
that.
and now conversely, the other thing is we will, going back to the point, we're not gonna restrict ourselves to options. We are gonna build some basic strategies to do perps plus spot on Hyperliquid, for example, which is a version that what Basis OS, I think they're called. Nice people they've done. But again, these are not like secret stuff. Like we've been doing perps basis on our market making side on OKX, for example, right? So now it's available on Hyperliquid. We'll do no Hyperliquid and we'll put some agency on top. So there are plenty of things one can do. We can do GMX tail risk strategy, right? So effectively the GMX LP pool return that needs to be hedged with options. Again, I don't want to, but that's why I go back. App Store for strategies. I love this analogy. That's as much as you would need.
Okay, my very last question. You might have answered this already too. So if you have, I apologize. If I want to launch, like create my own kind of custom tailored to me agent here on Ithaca, is that me spending the Stratos token to do that?
So as of right now, we haven't implemented Stratos token yet because it doesn't exist, right? Technically, the Stratos token. So right now you can go and before it actually exists, you can go and sneak it in. You can build your own bespoke agent as is,
Okay.
So you can pick out of the existing strategies. You can assign a personality. You can describe how you want him to trade, how extroverted or introverted you want him to be. So if you want him to just keep on shit posting on Twitter or just stay silent, you know what I mean?
Oh,
So
they'll
there are a
do
few
that
things
too,
you can
even.
take.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Wow.
and look, every day it's getting better. There are growing pains. I can tell you is that we are not the best in being the optimal Twitter communicators or making sure the socials look great. But we will respect that and we'll try our best. We want to focus, like what we promise, we'll do our best on the trading strategy side.
Well,
We'll try everything on the rest too, but that's where we know for sure we can do well.
look, dude, there's this a common thread with people who are actually, really building. It's, like the time is on the building side. It's not necessarily on the tweeting side, and everybody knows they got to step it up there. But that's something builders can come together and step it up together and support each other. I say keep doing the building like you're doing. It's looking incredible.
No, but I really appreciated what you said earlier, and you said something good about the tweet you said, because you know what? I get a lot of very well meant uh, grief from people that want us to tweet better, and it was very heartwarming that you actually liked what we put out, So thank you
That's
for that.
yeah, of course, of course. Dude, I mean, if there's anything else that you just like super important to the project, you want to make sure people know ahead of this opening up again. This is going to be live tomorrow morning, which is going to be cool because I stream on weekends too. And so when this goes live, let me see, it's going to be at I think 9 a.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be live like covering it when it opens
Yes,
up, which
exactly.
is going to be so fun. So I can't wait. I'm going to make a little event of it. But yeah, any other things people need to know before they make their decision here?
Look, I think there is enough for everyone. Give it a good try and to know that there has been a lot of work that has been put into it, and a lot more work will come into it. So we provide a heartfelt promise that we'll work very hard to deliver on the vision we're describing, and we have already been building for you. So we will be available for any comment, question, FUD, rebuttals, or anything we can be constructive about. We cannot promise continuously good news, right? There are ups and downs. So we just want to be sanguine and even keeled in a journey that has been long and will be very long in the future too.
I love that, dude. Well, first off, I really like you. I think you're great. I think the platform is sounding like, for me, right up my alley. It's something I've wanted to get into. I don't know if I knew how to get into it the right way. This feels like it. Just a heads up, too, guys, in the chat, I dropped 4 really great threads, like really, really good posts here coming from Ithaca. So, you know, they explain the platform. Some of these are explaining how you're going to use the agents, and they're like, these are gold. I dropped all 4 of these threads in the chat, but definitely go follow these accounts too. This Stratos_VIP. And then, of course, Ithaca Protocol. Again, if you just click those links, it's going to take you right to the accounts, but definitely follow them. You know, again, we'll do predictions because it's fun. I think this may end up being we'll just say most exciting launch of the week. We'll see. But I like everything I heard about it, and I appreciate you giving your time to explain it in depth, man. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. I'm really grateful you put the effort and the time and the questions and the support. So we cannot be thankful enough. And to our friend who put us together.
Right. Absolutely, him too. Once we get post-launch, let's run it back, even if it's just a quick check-in. But we'll keep in touch, and I'll keep the community up here on this side updated with updates with you guys. So again, open door anytime you want to come back on and share updates. You swing on through.
That's very kind of you. Thank you. And maybe I'll come to Chicago next time. I haven't been for a while.
There we go.
No.
There we go. That's how we do it too. We'll do the next one in person. How about that?
All right, my man. That sounds awesome.
Awesome stuff. All right, guys, there you go.
Good.
Thank you very much, guys. Stratos will be live tomorrow. Again, we'll be covering it live on tomorrow morning stream. But I don't know. It looks like a really, really great one. Great team, all of that. So guys, enjoy your Saturday. Dude, it is an alpha spay. It is. It just is. Enjoy your Saturday, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you again to our guest. And we'll see you tomorrow, fam. Goodbye.
Take care, bud. See you. Bye-bye.